downhill up there. Goes always down. Thank you. You laughing at over there. You laughing at me. I hope this happens to you. Put that thing on. Stop it. You, what the?
I mean, we're all in. Like, it's all we can do.
We know what we need to do and we're gonna get it done.
Thought's been there. It's like, we got the people, we all want it.
We experienced loss our freshman year and it sucked. We hated that.
A lot of them had been pointing at this season for the extent of their college careers. My name is Sarah Lagasse, the head cross-country coach at Christopher Newport. CNU is a public school that seems like a private school of 5,000 students in Newport News, Virginia. Newport News, sort of, to me, has a sailing, beachy vibe. It's very close to the coast, however, you wouldn't quite know that just from being on campus. The landscaping is incredible. There's a pretty high academic standard that they expect students to hit coming in, and a pretty high athletic standard that their teams require people to have. So it definitely is the best of both worlds. Public school, but very private, exclusive requirements to get in, which just makes the culture a really special one to be a part of. Okay, so you are just moving your head back and forth. Move your hips back and forth.
My hips don't work like this. My hips don't lie.
Is that better? No, it's not better.
You're making me laugh.
What am I doing?
Down and under.
I can't go any lower.
And come
Like
up
your
over
dance,
here.
you like,
Come over
move
here.
your swag surf, idiot.
There was two teams, kind of. It was, you had an upperclassmen group and the freshmen. There was 10 to 15 freshmen recruits, and then there was about 10 to 15 juniors and seniors, and that was the team, basically. In those 10 to 15 seniors, there was a lot of great leaders. I don't know if this is true with them, but I don't know if they could put their trust in us as incoming freshmen. It must have been tough for them. I couldn't even imagine that, as a lot of the freshmen in that class were coming for their spots.
I want to say like it started end of our freshman, beginning of sophomore year. We really want to get to that national level.
We knew that the region that we are from generally didn't have the best results when it comes to nationals. Well, not winning conference was kind of the chip that was put on our shoulders.
Personally, coming from high school, my team never lost a conference or region meet. So losing that conference meet was kind of a shock, but I didn't fully know what it meant yet because I was still a young freshman. And I was like, okay, we'll do better at regionals. We'll still go to nationals.
We came out 4th at the region meet.
Just by a ton of points, not even close to going to nationals. We aren't nearly as good as we think we are.
We needed to feel how bad it felt to be so close to going to nationals. Not going was a big deal. Like our freshman year when we didn't get to go, I don't know, it was a shock. But it was something that we really were able to focus on, and we were able to take that bad feeling and use it as motivation.
But you could tell from the class above mine, when we came in as freshmen, they were sophomores, that there was definitely something starting to come about.
It didn't matter if we were seniors only or freshmen through seniors. Everyone was close on the team.
We became brothers and we just became best buds. You could see that it was the start of something special.
I think we went from like kind of just being a bunch of guys who ran with the same jerseys on to like an actual family.
It's hard to put words on our relationship because it's just so strong. I mean, we'll definitely be friends forever.
Just that attitude, that like pissed off for greatness kind of attitude. Like we're tired of being mediocre, we're tired of getting fourth in the slowest region in D3, we're tired of getting second at conference. Like that attitude of like, let's just go win.
By the time the next year came around, we dominated the conference. Like we won by probably like 30 points. We went like 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 or something. So it went from not winning to dominating it. So we get to nationals. We sucked.
We weren't that team that made it to nationals and just wanted the experience. We were that team that wanted to be there and like actually wanted to feel like we deserved to be there. Just blew ourselves up out of the water and ended up last.
And after that we were like, okay, that was embarrassing. Like, yeah, we went, but we were in just a separate race pretty much.
I'm just pissed off that we haven't been able to do this yet. I'm just pissed off I haven't been an All-American yet. I'm just pissed off we haven't gotten a trophy yet, so I'm just gonna go do it. And I think that element was added to our team.
Later that year, we set the goal of 15.
So 15 was the number, 15 everything.
15 points at conference, which is perfect scoring. 5 in the top 15 at regionals, and 15th in the nation.
Conference, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6.
Our second goal was to put 5 in the top 15 at the region. We had a first place, fourth place, and then I think a 13th and 15th, and then we had like a 19th or 20th. We had those 3 goals and we went 0 for 2. And if we didn't get this third goal, we were gonna look like royal idiots.
We came out to nationals and getting 11th was huge.
When we finished that, I just knew that it was something special. I don't think any person outside of our team thought that was gonna happen.
Getting 11th at nationals, we were like, we're bringing home a trophy.
So coming into the season, we were ranked 8th in the nation, and we returned basically everyone.
We were expecting higher. You know, it's like we were already like 20 points away from 8th or something, like ridiculously small.
It really didn't really mean too much. I didn't really look at it with like, oh my gosh, like 8th in the nation, what does that mean? I didn't look into it. I was just like, okay, 8th in the nation.
We're kind of doing our own little CNU thing down south, and no one really paid much mind to us, and it definitely motivated the guys, if anything, and gave us that underdog attitude, and who's not rooting for the underdog, so be it.
We kind of just laughed at the rankings because we knew that they never placed Southeast teams high on the rankings.
It's just what the dude behind the computer sitting there is thinking in his head, like, oh yeah, they'll be about 8th, they'll be about 7th.
Last year we were trying to prove ourselves. Like, we knew we were that good, but like everybody else in the nation didn't. Like, we're just the Southeast team. Like, we get that bad rap for some odd reason.
I think there could have been more pressure if the nation had given us more of like its attention, but they made it easier for us because they were like, hey, they're from the South. So it's not like there was any extra pressure from like the outside end.
It's nice not having that pressure that everyone's watching your every move.
We put enough pressure on ourselves already to be good.
We first had our goals meeting, and it was a very formal type of thing that you do with teams.
She came in and like we like mentioned like, yeah, we want to get a trophy. She kind of like brushed it off. I guess we weren't like pushing it enough.
If they were serious about this conversation, which I didn't at that time know that they were, I'd only known them for a month.
At first we were all like, what's her deal?
A couple weeks later, some of the top guys pulled me aside over to the pole vault mats, which are kind of in the corner of the track. They just said they had to talk to me about something.
We took her aside and we sat her down, and we really wanted to stress to her how important this last season is to us.
We really want this trophy, like, more than anything.
They just let me know how serious they were about their goals.
And our top 5 are all seniors, and they're all gone after this. This is something we've been working hard for so long.
And they told me that they trusted me, and they told me that they would do whatever it took.
Telling her that, you could see her kind of get goosebumps and her eyes opened up wide.
It's like, I'm so glad you pulled me aside. I thought you guys were just like, yeah, it would be cool to get a trophy.
And she was like, oh my God, I've been waiting to hear this ever since I got here.
That was a very liberating conversation. It really gave me the power and the creativity to do what I thought that we needed to do.
And that, she was like, will you do whatever it takes? And we're like, yep. She's like, all right, well, you listen to everything I tell you to do. And we agreed then because that was our goal.
She knew that it had never been done, but she also knew that she had a special team on her hands.
Grayson specifically said, just pretend that we've been fast for a long time and pretend you're not a first-time head coach, and let's just pretend that we're all have done this before, we're just doing it again.
That meeting was great because it not only brought our goals out in front of the whole team, but it was probably the first time that we as individuals set our goals out loud.
People like JJ and Billy came back for a 5th year for this team. People just had the best summers of training in their lives. When you have all that and you have it all together and you have it all at once, you're creating a moment that you really don't want to waste. And so that's the eagerness and almost the desperation that makes it so special and so important.
In one word, describe the team's sense of humor.
Constant. It is constant.
I want to say like the Three Stooges.
We all bring our own comedy to the table.
I wouldn't still be like putting in as much effort and like time into the team if I wasn't enjoying it and genuinely like enjoy the people I'm around.
You get the goofiest bunch of guys you'll ever meet in your life.
But like everyone finds the same jokes funny. Everyone makes the same jokes.
That was the JJ LaPointe.
It just makes it so much easier to come to practice every day when you have people who are just like that.
All right, word association. Billy.
Crazy. You were supposed to do it too.
Yeah.
Oh, for me? Charming.
Sandwich.
Short.
And sometimes people are just childish a little bit too long. It's like, all right, guys, let's reel it back some.
Too busy. I come up there and you're just sitting on your computer. No, I'm just playing.
They make me laugh more than they get on my nerves, and as long as that continues, we're good. It is definitely a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde relationship. They can be super goofy until the first rep starts, and once we start rolling, it's totally all business. And then once we hit the cool down, it's reversed right back.
That's something that's so crazy about this team is we can go from joking around on the warm-up to getting into the workout and just being totally focused so quickly.
On the track, we'll go like single file and take turns leading because we trust each other to hit the pace, and we just get in that line and just move together like as one.
It's not complacent of like, okay, I know I'm the top runner, I know I'm the second, I know I'm the third, I know I'm the fourth, I know I'm the fifth. It's like, the competition is definitely there, because if it wasn't there, we would be an average team. It would be a boring team, and it would be an average team.
You want to be having fun when you're doing whatever you're doing, especially if it's something that you care about and you have big goals in.
I think we found that perfect balance between making it fun and having a good time and being serious about it. That works exactly right for us.
They're really good at determining kind of who's having a tough day, who's having a tough week.
One of our musically inclined friend on the team, Alex Bukovic, has been having like a pretty rough week, and he has bad luck usually. But this was pretty bad, and so a few of us in his grade got together and we got him a guitar, and it says we're here for you, and we all signed it, and we're hoping that'll cheer him up and bring up his mood just from like the rough week he's been having. So hopefully when he gets back, he's not just gonna be upset. He'll just have this to cheer him up.
Hey, that's my guitar.
It says my name on it.
My name's the only one that's not on it.
Yeah! So that means it's everybody's but yours. And you're the only one who didn't pay for it.
They're good at knowing what to say to each other to get them back and refocused. And that's definitely something that's appreciated.
Our goal is for nationals, obviously, so with Paul Short, it's just going to be so nice to see where we are and what needs to be tweaked a little bit.
I guess Paul Short was the first time that we were really running all out and fast.
As a team-wise, we should be the top Division III team. We should win for D3. That should be just something we want to do if we have those national goals.
Competition is stacked, man. That race is just like littered with ridiculously good talent.
Bunch of D1 schools. We were going there to see how well we could do against D3 schools.
Some people ran really, really well. Like Jeff had an outstanding race running 24, like 51. I mean, that was like a 20-something second PR for him. JJ 25:02.
How did everyone else do?
Really well.
Really well, yeah.
So after that race, when everyone threw down some pretty big times, I think that's when all of us first realized that we could do something big this year.
You absolutely went out there and you gave it your all. Oh man, it's looking quick. We're about to make some history this year.
So what do you have to look forward to pre-nationals?
Getting as close to competition as we can, like that we'll see at nationals, before nationals. Kind of excited to beat John Hopkins again, because everyone's ranking them super high, but we beat them pretty badly at Paul Short, and people were making excuses for them and saying we were still underrated. So I'm looking forward to beating them again, seeing what excuses people come up with this time.
Pre-nationals was in Elsa, Illinois, middle of nowhere, at Principia.
Pre-nats, our goal was to win, and that wasn't something I was scared about saying. That was something when we were talking about what do we want to do at pre-nats, the first thing I said was we want to win.
We kind of wanted that to be the moment where people saw us and were like, oh, they're going to be contenders this year. And that is exactly the opposite of what happened.
They finished 7th as a team, which was definitely a hit for us. We thought our trajectory was kind of leading us towards podiuming at nationals. And if you're going to podium at nationals, you need to be one of the top 4 teams.
Going into pre-nats, none of us had seen the course, no one had been there before. And I know Sam Murch is big into like researching online. If it's posted somewhere about running, he'll find it. And all the course descriptions were slight rolling hills. There might be a few little inclines. So we're like, okay, this might be a really fast course.
That course is hilly, and that's an understatement.
I saw the course and I was like, oh God.
You're either climbing or you're going down, and that's it. Those are your two options.
And that course kind of ripped us apart.
And even the starting line was just straight uphill.
Pre-nats, we were supposed to get out really controlled. We didn't.
But they're running way too fast for what the course was, and we really paid for it in the end.
I mean, that was a huge meet and we blew it.
I honestly felt like after that race, no one cared about us.
That was, at that point, that's when we were like, okay, our talent's only gets us so far. We have to be smart with it now.
Thursday after that, we get out to hills to do workouts. Once a week or once every other week, one of our workouts is like incorporating hills in some way.
Get some AK pace on some hills today. Nationals is gonna be a pretty rough one with the hills, so trying to get comfortable. Trying to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
We knew we needed to add hills into training. Some people were kind of talking about small things that they needed to do to really make sure that they were on the right track. JJ told me he was going to be closer to Grayson.
I need to bridge that gap of 9 seconds. I can't let that 9 seconds happen.
Immediately after the race, he's like, I promise you 100% I'm going to be right next to you that whole race.
It was just a regrouping moment for us to circle the wagons and kind of refocus.
You watch the game footage, you see what you did wrong, you see what you want to do a little differently, you see what you did right, and you highlight those moments.
At the national meet, I think there's definitely room for improvement.
We have a long way to go still. We need to get a lot better in this short stretch of time. Well, I'm sitting at my house and Coach texts me, hey, can you meet to talk with me and Jake tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, sitting there thinking, like, did I do something? I don't think I did anything.
So for regionals, we decided as a team that we were going to sit out throughout the season, our 4-5 guys. So that was Sam Murch and Daniel Reed.
We wanted them rested for nationals, and it made us all feel real confident that we would have a Grayson, a JJ, a Jeff, a rested Sam, and a rested Tank.
She's like, look, every team's tapering right now.
We needed to give ourselves an edge on the rest of the nation.
You and Sam are in that 4 or 5 spot. If JJ, Grayson, and Jeff all finish like 10 seconds faster, it's a difference of like 30 points, which is significant. But if just I finished 10 seconds faster, that would have been 30 points right there.
1 second, every second when you're in that tight of a pack means 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 places.
But it's really all about place, and that's all nationals is.
And then she sits me and Tank down and it's like, we want to sit you guys at regionals so you guys are fresh for nationals because we think it's going to be that extra edge.
And I'm just like, whoa, hold on, this is my senior year. I've raced it every year up till now.
It was definitely a tough idea to sell.
Everyone's throwing in their ideas. Like, I know Grayson was all for it and Jeff was all against it. So then we got those two going at it. Sam's against it, so there's just lots of like thoughts going around.
I really didn't like the idea.
We're tapering already, we don't need to taper more.
And I mean, it's our senior year, and it's at home, everyone's gonna be there. The weather was gonna be like perfect.
The main reason for doing that wasn't because we thought that they needed to sit out because they were like sore or they were just having a rough spot in the season, but we were doing it because we had that luxury that we could sit them out and still get accomplished what we wanted to accomplish.
Certainly the depth of the team allowed us to be able to make that move. That's definitely an elite strategy that we hadn't done before. When we were talking to the guys about it, there was something that Cav actually said that made me feel even more confident about it.
There was multiple arguments for each side, so it was, I mean, no one's ever done that before, but no one from the Southeast has also podium before.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? Our goal has been nationals though. If this is 100% what she thinks will get us the trophy, I will do it.
We decided that that was what we wanted to do, and we were going to believe in that process.
It just really shows their character and how strongly they believed in our goal.
I think that's what's so scary about making sacrifices, is that you don't know that there's necessarily going to be a payoff at the end.
It just speaks a lot to their character, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
La 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 la. Mommy made me mess my M&M. La 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 la.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2017 South-Southeast Regional Cross Country Meet. The men's clerking began at 9:40 and will go until 10:40 a.m. Thank you.
Oh my God!
I've never not slept an entire night before, but last night was that night. Our goal was 1, 2, 3 in the region, and to get all 7 in the top 35. We didn't do 1, 2, 3 in the region, but we had 3 people break the course record, so hey, you do what you can.
It was amazing to see the guys go out there and just crush regionals and everyone PR. It was also hard at the same time because Tank and I wanted to be out there and like running fast.
Seeing that everyone else is in that type of shape, knowing that I've been working out with them and could have been right there today is a good sign coming in.
I was really happy with the time and happy with how the team ran.
How does it, performing with JJ at the end?
Well, that's the second time I finished a second behind him, so it's cool to have the 2 and 3 there, so close to each other.
I mean, they executed exactly what they were supposed to here. We did what we needed to do. We got to rest the guys we wanted to rest.
Exactly. Coach, 3 guys under 25 minutes on this court. 4 guys under 25 minutes.
Cav finished under 25 as well.
That's fantastic.
So 4 under 25 on that, and then our next 2 were at 25-20.
Today was the first day you broke 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
How does that feel?
It was good. I didn't think I was going to do it, but the conditions were right. Everyone was running out there fast time, so I was just glad I could do out there and make the team proud. So.
What do you have to do the next 2 weeks to get on play?
Time-wise, we have to do everyone at 25:30, and we need to get 3 All-Americans. So, yeah, I'm gonna go.
See ya.
Catch them. Thanks, guys.
Most excited about the team finish, how they all pulled together. They did a great job having one common goal and really running for that. For the women, I was most excited about probably Jess and Monica's finish. They were both really competitive and really fast. They definitely knew what they needed to do, and they didn't let anything stop them when they were coming down that chute. All the women finished faster than they thought they could, and that was really exciting to see. I think that if they next year kind of get that common goal in their minds, like we're going to Illinois no matter what, we're going to nationals, and here's what we all need to do to get there. I think that they could be right where the men are in a couple of years. Just having the talent that they have now after realizing it today and putting those pieces together, I see them developmentally a little farther away from the guys, but on that same trajectory. Good job. Oh, don't cry. I'm so happy. Don't cry. It's okay. She's making me cry.
I see the girls program kind of as where we were coming into our freshman year.
We're definitely looking for leadership, but I think a lot of the sophomores are stepping up into that role, and I have a lot of hope for where that group can go in the future.
They're a super young team, and they have a lot of talent that just needs to be developed right now.
We're just missing the numbers in 2 classes, and that's just huge. I think that once we recruit and have freshmen and sophomores coming in, these sophomores or seniors, then we have a whole team of people who are all giving their talents and their personalities towards one goal, and I see that going in the very same direction as the guys.
After regionals, where did the rankings place CNU?
11th.
After regionals, we got ranked 11th in the nation, and I thought that was just a slap in the face.
Right after regionals, where we had 4 people break 25 minutes in the 8K. And we were ranked 11th.
We knew we weren't the 11th best team in the nation. That's not being cocky, that's being confident. I knew how good we were. We were not 11th in the nation.
What do we have to do to get across to these people that we can trophy? Like, what more do we have to do? And we're like, okay, whatever, forget these rankings. Take the target off our backs. We'll just show them at nationals. Night before, coach broke down the numbers for us. To get third, you need your first guy at 15. And Grayson wanted top 5. So he was sitting there like, why is he saying 15? I'm getting top 5. And he was like, okay, then you need your 2 and 3 at 30th. And then you need your 4-5 right at 100. And we were like, this is right there.
This is it. Like, this is what we need to do.
If being on the podium was realistic and no one had to have an out-of-body experience, we just needed to do our jobs.
For the team's sake, my goal was to get top 25 in the nation. So I just told myself at the start line, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get into 25th place, 20th place, and I'm just gonna hold it.
To get out there and actually put myself in like the top 5 and just stay there. Because I know mentally when it comes down to it, you're gonna put yourself in that position and you're just not gonna let go.
The 3 to 4 gap is our biggest gap. It's been that way all year. Behind the scenes, that could make or break the team score.
My goals for this race were not running related, they were definitely volume related, and I knew that I wanted to be shouting numbers of places where they were.
We all wanted to go out conservatively because we learned that at pre-nationals.
I'd seen the course, I'd been preparing for it mentally and physically.
I feel like the tension and the atmosphere around the team before nationals was very calm. It just went along with what we were feeling. It was quiet, it was calm, it wasn't doing anything loud or weird yet. And so we were just calm and quiet with it. North Central was the biggest contender. Anybody from Wisconsin, MIT, and some of those top NESCAC schools, the Amherst, the Williams. That's generally who's making up the top 10 every year.
Minutes before, we had just finished like our group huddle, last minute hyping up. The CNU crowd was grouped right next to us, so they're all yelling.
For nationals, the nerves are pretty high.
There probably wasn't a person that wasn't nervous on the line, I'm pretty sure.
There's no more next years, there's no more next times. This is it for me.
As soon as the gun goes off, it's just nothing but cheering. Running up that first hill, that first 400 meters is the loudest I've ever raced in.
Looking at our box position, we were literally right next to North Central. So I'm like, okay, these are the smartest guys in any races. They race perfectly. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit right behind them.
JJ and Grayson way up front, Jeff a little ways back, Tiny Gap, Billy, then me, Sam, and Cav.
It was so crowded, even more crowded than regional, so it was even harder to find your way around. Your hands were all over everyone near you. My hand was on the back of tanks.
We're really packed up like well for our 4 through 7 guys.
The second time that I saw that pack go through, I think I told Tank to move.
So I started moving up even more.
It's always scary when, you know, somebody immediately listens to you. Like, he just immediately, like, got 5 people. Like, oh, I was talking about, like, gradually, but that's okay. But it's also encouraging because, hey, I know he heard me.
I know coming through the line, I saw my time and I was really excited. But then immediately, the only thing I could think about next, I was like, okay, where's my guys? I was like, where's everybody else?
I had seen JJ. He looked really strong.
I remember, like, with maybe 200 meters to go or so, I was in a pack of like 5 guys, and in my head, I just knew, like, oh man, like, I never have a kick. Just knowing in my head, like, this is it, this is my last home stretch ever in my life. I just, like, I don't even know where this came from. I just, like, screamed, and I moved from, I don't know what it was, like 18th place to 14th place. It was such an awesome feeling crossing that finish line. I know I started crying with like 50 meters to go, like before I even crossed the finish line, just because it was all so real.
And when he came up, it was in 14th. We're in real good shape.
Saw Grayson, he was all pumped up. I ran over to him, gave a hug, and then we almost like didn't even notice it, but then Grayson pointed and was like, there's Jeff, Jeff's there too. And then I remember looking back and I was like, oh my God, like he was right behind me.
So Jeff comes rolling in, which we knew he was gonna do. To hear that he came in the 20s was huge.
If you're given an opportunity, you have to go for it. You can't just let it slip.
I know my guys are behind me. I know that they're in front of me. Like, I just have to worry about me now. 300 to go. It's like, this is it. Because I was right near like that 100 spot. I don't know where Jeff and Grayson and JJ finished, and someone pulls me aside and is like, oh, they crushed it. It was like they were 5, 14, and 21. I'm like, okay, so we're really far ahead. Where's our 5th man? So I'm like turning around looking, and they're already across the line.
Cav at that point was running out of his mind.
As a sophomore, Cav stepped up insane amounts.
So I knew that every place counted when you're the 5th man.
By the time the 5th runner comes in, you're wondering how well you were able to do the math with everybody else. Cav was in a perfect spot, but how trustworthy is the research that I've done before the race?
You didn't know what was gonna happen. You didn't know if we got 11th. You didn't know if we got 2nd. Like, it was very tense. We were all waiting to see.
It's almost like you've been underwater for 25 minutes and you're coming up from air and just wondering what's going on.
I was really nervous and scared to hear what the results were like.
Especially when you're seeing like different jerseys and you're seeing teams that we were in competition for to get a trophy against, and we're like, uh-oh, there's one, there's another.
We were all congratulating each other on good races. And that was as far as anybody felt comfortable saying.
We are so proud of you. That was a fantastic effort. Every single one of you gave your all today.
Sam Murch wasn't in that group that got gathered, and then I saw him like whip it around the porta potties.
Had like my hand up like this.
And then we heard officially, and then
everything coming full circle, everything just exactly how we wanted it to happen. It happened.
It was just unreal, the feeling.
It felt like we earned it. It didn't feel like that was out of nowhere, that it felt like that we were meant to be there.
Everyone was crying, so it was different than a lot of cross-country races, I'd say.
I think that just speaks of what this team is all about, how when we say we want to do something, we're going to do it.
I mean, it was a 4-year goal.
This is 4 years of our lives.
4 years leading up to that one race.
The entire race, if not the entire season, I just didn't want to disappoint all the seniors because I knew they'd worked so hard throughout their 4 or 5 years to make it to this point.
It was worth every morning run, every long run.
For the team, we made history. For the team, nobody's scored in the top 10 at nationals from the South ever, let alone podium, let alone come in third.
If I were to go back in time and tell myself that I was going to be an All-American in cross country, I would have probably laughed.
The difference maker is sheer belief that they were going to be on the podium. It didn't matter that they hadn't done it before. No team on earth could have never done it before, and they wouldn't have cared.
I think we were a team that started out as little dreamers way back to my freshman and sophomore year. And we had these little dreams that we didn't really know what they even meant. As we grew together as a unit and as we grew together as friends, those little dreams became real and big dreams that like, this is attainable. This is something we can do.
Yeah, so that's something I'm never gonna forget, so.
So what does this mean for you, moving forward? What are you going to do now?
So that's it for me.